sizes of these amazing things that we're seeing. See, we're using our best estimation, but later we can go back through the video and get
I should
better
catch up a little and stop being so behind the
Yeah.
I think it's
behind the eight
interesting. They
ball
seem
here.
to be clustered together. See the sponges? Like where you see one, you might see two more right next to it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's
But then
the
you'll get
rocks that are
those
occupying.
fields of like the smaller ones that
Yeah.
just seem like evenly dispersed.
Yes, I do remember. I noticed the same thing. These ones we're seeing them in little clusters.
Okay, it looks like I have to go
Stay in
down
a
a
bubble
bit.
for a minute to see what's sticking out there on the starboard side of Herc. What am I seeing there?
Shadow?
What am I seeing in Argus? Something don't look right.
I'll look in just a second. I'm sort of...
Manipulator
trying to
looks
orient.
okay. Must be a shadow, sorry.
Yeah.
Have we
Seeing things.
dropped down into the dip?
We are, yeah. We're entering that saddle. And
right, so we're seeing the same thing happen again.
Yeah, little
So,
decrease.
What's the thing that happens in these dips?
Well, maybe we've got weaker currents here, and so we don't see as many corals. Still seeing a good number of sponges, but a little bit less.
Smaller.
Yeah, smaller and less dense.
And actually, the last time we entered a saddle, we actually thought, oh, maybe the community is kind of tapering off now. And then as we got out of the saddle, it rebounded again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. My name is Kate, and I'm sitting in the nav chair for this wonderful watch. I'm going to have a nav-related question to ask you guys at the end of the watch, but I'm not going to tell you what it's going to be.
Oh.
What?
How am I supposed to focus?
You've just reminded me of my Mars question.
It's going to go something like, where are we?
Yeah.
What is our latitude, longitude?
As long as it's not which way's up, I think we'll be okay.
So if someone called you tomorrow, said, hey, we're crewing up for our first sending humans to Mars.
Yes.
We'd like you to be a navigator, or we'd like you to be a ROV pilot, or we'd like you to be a scientist aboard. Would you do it?
Would I say yes?
Yeah.
Is there a return trip involved?
It's a long trip.
I would say no way. I got 2 more weeks on the Nautilus. I'm staying here.
Yeah, I guess it would depend on if there was a return trip involved and how mad my family would be at me. I think that would be...
So you're saying you'd do it if you could come back, but not if...
No, not necessarily. If I was expected to come back, because I was just thinking, oh man, I don't know if I can do the whole round trip thing. What if I fail? Yeah, I think it would be the fear of failure. I think that would be. It would have so much riding on it, right? So much resources. I would want to do a really good job. Would you go, Stephen?
I don't think so.
You wouldn't?
Pilots, what do you think about the next move being at 0.1 knots rather than 0.2 knots, mainly because we're tracking faster and it will allow for more zigzagging?
Oh, yeah, because we're going faster than you're asking for.
Yeah.
And I'm getting...
I think it's just
box.
they're having a hard time fighting the wind and current outside is my
I definitely don't have to zigzag either.
Okay.
If they just have to go 0.5 to maintain steerage, I'll just fly differently.
All right, we'll keep an eye on it then.
I don't know why they'd be having a problem.
I don't...
Wind's down to like 12.
Yeah, the wind is down and the currents aren't super strong, but that could be a combination with the swell too. I'm not quite positive. They're putting the moves in correctly, I know that.
Well, we're getting into some bigger sponges again. Are we coming out of the dip?
Not exactly, unless this could be a little small local change in topography.
Okay.
There's our depth history up on the Argus screen there. That's over the last 5 minutes, I believe. It's got to be longer than 5 minutes. 24.
So Dan, if they let you pick up and throw rocks with an ROV on Mars, would you go?
In a heartbeat.
Bridge nav.
What about to the moon? Would you go to the moon too?
What
Sure.
is that one in the middle? Can we move
That's a
like
glass-
100
that's a
meters,
glass
bearing
sponge.
135?
Walteria sponge. One with the spicules, the
0.2 knots.
spicules sticking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, a Walteria sponge. I learned that one today. I feel smart now.
Thank you.
So are there names for these different like sponge shapes? Are they all the same species and they're just like happen to grow differently, or are they different species?
They're similar.
Oh, I got this one.
Sponge, yes. And as you get, Kim got this one. We had a long talk with Chris about it. She's ready to go. Go for it.
I have committed to learning 5 new Latin names a day, and today is Polyopogon, these large ladle or ear-shaped sponges.
Okay.
He called it the kind of catch-all category because they can have lots of different shapes and forms depending on the currents and their growth patterns. So they kind of dump them all into there, and that sometimes things are reclassified out of that genus, but we're going for Polyopogon.
Poly what?
Polyopogon.
Appa.
Yeah.
Polyopogon.
Opogon.
Yeah.
And he
Many shaped.
many shapes
There
are
you
these
go.
types, yes.
Oh my gosh, I
But
got one.
You did. And I think he said, though, how they attach is an important part of identification.
Oh,
I know. I found that also very interesting.
definitely like mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, like the bottom of it and how it,
So Kim worked with our lead scientist, Chris Kelly, to
Oh, there's an eel.
come up with an unofficial name for this,
Oh, an eel, yeah.
this incredible conglomeration of sponges and corals here. You want to share that, Kim?
Sure. Well, since we're diving on Don Quixote Seamount, and the motivation for a lot of,
Zoom video?
I'm gonna pause a moment and look
Yeah.
at this eel.
Take a look at this.
Yeah.
That's got that mottled appearance that we saw.
Yeah, we've seen a few of these.
Type of cusk eel.
Never gets old.
Hey, sit down there.
Okay, go wide.
There's no light at these depths, so these creatures are not used to the conditions that we're bringing with us here.
I'm always impressed when you ROV pilots can follow fish with Hercules.
That guy wasn't moving very fast.
Still.
So yeah, to the proposed name of this region, based on the fact that we are diving on Don Quixote Seamount, is after Dulcinea, who was the object of Don Quixote's love, but also based on the name of our expedition, which is Lu'u'ae a Hiki ka Papaku, which means dive and come up until you reach the ocean floor. And in this case, the word Papaku means ocean floor, so we were calling it Dulcinea's Papaku. So
Got a nice ring.
yeah,
That's
we're gonna try to get that to catch on.
I like it.
Thanks.
The brainstorming session for that was quite entertaining.
Yeah, you gotta workshop it. It took
Yeah,
we took a
Just go
journey.
down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for your questions that keep coming in.
What's that? Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I can do the winch. No. I can do the winch while you guys are working on that. No, it's no problem.
We got an ID from Chris Kelly on the eel,
Mm.
Cynophobranchus brevidorsalis. Possibly. Sure about the genus, not sure about the species.
So honorary members of Team Tectonic Turtles are on our science chat. We do not have a biologist on this watch, so that's why we are tectonic. So we do appreciate the science
Zoom
chatters around the world who are helping us out.
Beautiful.
We're getting lots of questions too about why. Why is this here and not the other places that we have been diving? What makes this the way that it is? And while we have some ideas.
That's the $1,000,000 question.
That's the $1,000,000 question. My current hypothesis today, is that we are downstream current-wise from a nutrient source.
Okay, go wide.
And so what that nutrient source is, I do not know. And how proximal it is, I do not know. But it could be that the way the current is oriented upstream from that is something pumping in nutrients that these communities like.
Yeah, I think the only nutrients you're going to get here are is the light marine snow that we have. It's not as heavy as you see in some coastal regions where you have upwelling and nutrients coming from the continent. So we don't have the big algal blooms that you'll see, say, off the Pacific coast of the U.S. The current regime here is very complicated because the Hawaiian Ridge is known as a generation site for very large internal waves that propagate north and south from the ridge. So we could be getting southward propagating waves impinging on these slopes.
This is wild.
We could have, oh yeah, look at the nodules.
Sorry, Emil, propagating waves.
Yeah, internal waves. This dense water pushed up by the tide as it meets sloping seafloor, and then gravity pulls it back down. Now you've got a wave going on, and that energy will propagate away from the Hawaiian Ridge. It could be, it certainly looks like it could be affecting this chain of seamounts, but then you could also have locally generated internal tides, so it'd be a really complex thing to model. You'd need a very high resolution model to try to sort out everything going on here.
I know that Andy said when I had proposed that hypothesis, he said, oh, maybe they're down current from some of the islands that are populated by a lot of birds. And that could be creating a nutrient source. Yeah, so it's always the complex interplay between the biosphere, the hydrosphere, the lithosphere, that ultimately we resolve these questions in that interplay and the feedbacks associated with changes in those systems. But they are all acutely intertwined.
The surface winds are from the east-northeast here, the trade winds, and we are about 850 miles west of Oahu. So there could be some surface currents driven by the wind bringing nutrients out this way. So that's conceivable.
So some other ideas that are being tossed around is this is our shallowest dive that we've done so far. We are at a depth right now of about 1,800 meters, which is still deep. Make no mistake, that is still deep. But it's much shallower than we've been diving previously. The water temperature is 2.1 degrees C, and so that's slightly warmer than we've been seeing. But there is not hydrothermal activity in this area now. Maybe 70 million years ago there might have been. So that was a viewer question, if it could be that. So there's lots of variables, I think, is the answer, and the science never ends. So we're here to figure that out. So thanks for your questions coming in on the website. If you want to monitor the depth or water temperature or our heading, you can do that on nautiluslive.org. You can check all that data out. It's updated several times a minute.
And this star is also a filter feeder, and that's why it has its tentacles out into the water column, trying to filter out food, nutrients.
Bersingeid sea star.
What's that? Oh, do you want to? Okay. Yeah, this is pretty chill. The current's not bad.
Argus isn't against a cliff. Argus isn't against a cliff.
Here, I'll just get you. There isn't a great place to set down. So you are in all your
I think our data engineer, Justin Lowe, a hardworking data engineer, keeping the data and imagery flowing from the ship to the shore, is going to get some stick time.
Nice.
On Argus, I believe.
And you know, since he's the one that fixed our streaming issues that we had over the last couple of days, I think all of our viewers would be more than happy to know that he's getting getting the opportunity to fly one of the ROVs right now. He certainly made a lot of viewers very happy by clearing up those issues we were having.
So the vehicle's holding altitude and it's holding its heading. So you shouldn't need any of these. They're in autos.
We might not hear our pilots for a bit. They're doing some coaching there.
So it looks like the biology is a bit more sparse here.
Yeah, and what is our topography association?
We are in the saddle.
We are in the saddle. So we found one relationship.
Yeah, and we're just about to, creep start back up, so our elevation has been increasing. We're on the
Okay, so yeah, I mean,
coming out of the saddle.
Yeah, out of the two saddles we've seen, both have been associated with a decrease in biodiversity and concentration of organisms.
Yes.
Interesting.
Hey, as we're thinking about our next, or continuing our watch, you guys want to keep going up and over the top of the ridge, correct?
Yes, please.
Yes.
All right.
And could you zoom out, Nav?
Yeah.
See the new updated endpoint?
We have the savviest viewers around. We have a viewer asking if there could be like a large dead whale on the bottom feeding this community, which is a great idea for a source of nutrients, but we suspect these communities have been around for much, much longer than a whale would feed. Hundreds, if not thousands of years.
Yeah, if we can see an angular rock, and we're in the lower density community, it would be a great place to get it because we have less organisms we're competing with.
Roger. Looking for an angular rock.
Yeah, these ones all seem to be attached, so they're usually not good candidates, but if you see, you know what I like by this time.
Yeah, Roger.
Right?
Try not to find any 53-pound rocks today.
Yeah, well, and
my back still hurts from getting that thing out of the box.
53 pounds?
Just from watching Steve get it out of the box, my back's aching.
I'd say she likes them big and stupid, but these rocks are not stupid.
They have great stories to tell,
yeah.
as we've been hearing.
Stories to tell, they do.
Sarah, when you get a chance, can you let us know which sampling trays are available or what's empty?
Yeah, so we have E, the big one on the starboard bio box available.
Okay.
We also have A, but it is precariously placed right next to a very floaty sponge that is
Oh
in
yeah,
pieces.
we don't want to. Yeah, we want to leave that sponge alone. So we can just open it for the
for E.
How about any of these guys that we're going by?
Yeah, these look suitable.
That one looks pretty big.
We've got a sample site.
You guys want to land there?
Yeah, if we are, yeah, I don't want to get into a really dense community again and be competing with the community and potentially knock something.
It's a good place to sample.
Yeah, so if we can see if we can find an angular cubic around 20 centimeters.
All right. Yeah, so this is your verts here. Take you out of auto altitude and slowly press forward until the vehicle lands into the rocks. This way.
So we have two main types of rock collections we've been doing. I know this dive has been mostly about the biology, but Dr. Balbus is looking for large angular rocks, which hopefully have original minerals preserved in them, which she can do a very laborious multi-step, multi-month or year process on to try to figure out how old these features are. And then Dr. Beth Orcutt, who is on a different watch, is looking for smaller rounded rocks that have been altered since they were formed. And she is looking for squishy rocks, we say, while as
I'll give you a guess.
Andrea's looking for large, chunky looking
Roger.
rocks so that she can get at those original minerals.
The one right there in the center of the screen, I think, is one she circled.
Yeah, so this guy here.
There, she's circling one.
That's a big one.
You're fine. Yeah, you're fine.
If it's within reach, again, the more angular and cubic, the better.
The more angular and cubic, the better. Roger. There's a bubble on the arm for a reference. You're like totally there.
Oh,
Big
good
reach.
thing he did his yoga.
So, Justin, I'm going to disable one of the vertical thrusters, so you might have to press down a little, press forward a little more.
Oh boy, I've never seen Herc sample like that before. Just got it in the fingertips.
Yeah, that guy, he's probably, is that got a full force?
With a little sponge on it.
He's got a little spongy. Oh.
Pretty round.
The ship
It's very
still
round,
moving, is
yeah.
it, Kate?
Whoa.
Say
A
again?
little rocky.
Can we come all stop on the ship?
Absolutely.
We would prefer
I've,
a more angular
great.
one.
Yeah.
I
20
don't
meters
know
back
if
up the
we're in
line,
a
too.
place where we can find a more angular one.
Sorry, I wasn't listening there. You happy with that one?
Well, I'm hoping that we can find more angular one or a little bit bigger, but I just don't know if we can get that in this spot. That's what I'm wondering. Like, is it potential to back up or move forward, or
if we're able to back, it looked like there were several candidates.
Okay. Maybe we're getting out of the box here with Argus and the ship.
Okay. Well, we can just pick it up and try again.
You want another rock from?
If we can't get another rock from here, we can just move on.
Okay. They don't want this one.
No.
Just let it go. So I'm going to turn your vert back on.
Starting to come out of the saddle.
And there are the sponges, just on cue. We're seeing
Bridge nav. Sorry, that move was 20 meters, not 200 meters. Can you update it to do, I guess we have 10 meters left, so 10 meters at 315.
Yo.
Oh, there's an eel.
Thank you.
Good eye.
Oh, a big sponge on the right.
So channel 1 in our quad view or on our YouTube site is the view from Hercules, but the Argus view has been spectacular all day as well. That's channel 2 or the upper right on our quad view.
Okay, Kate, we can press on the same trajectory. 0.2 there.
Yeah. I just had him reverse.
What's that?
Okay, yep. We can get going.
Is he still on his counter move?
Yeah.
That's all right. He can function it.
Bridge nav.
It's being a little more aggressive with the swing back move there. We're shallower, so it's more effective.
Can we change our move? Can we go bearing 135 for 100 meters? Thank you.
You can play around in that Argus box any way you want. You get, look at the nav screen over there. Those are 24 boxes. You get about one box away. It'll probably start yanking your tail. Stay within one box.
Looks like we have viewers on our website from 15 different countries around the world. So wherever you're joining us from and whatever time of the day or night it is there, thanks for joining us.
Fantastic. Go science.
That's right. Go science. Thank you for your questions that are coming in. And thanks for being here with us. I want to give a special shout out to a viewer in Edinburgh. Thanks for being with us here today.
It is true that a love of science and exploration is one thing that can unite the peoples of the world. And it's wonderful that we can celebrate these type of discoveries now with technology all around the world. And we can think of people in our lives that have had a wonderful passion for these things and how they have made us more passionate about similar things and observing nature and appreciating the diversity of our wonderful planet, amazing planet Earth. You can see here that it is not an ideal place to get a rock. They are all attached.
Yeah, anything that breaks off is going to collect in one of those saddles, I guess. So
yeah, that's what we were hoping for.
Should have another opportunity after we cross over this summit.
So if you are watching the quad or channel 3, you can see on our map, it kind of seems like we're noticing a pattern that when we are rising up in elevation, then we see more dense and diverse communities. And when we pass through these little saddles, we get kind of less dense communities. So as we approach one of these little rises here, we'll see if that pattern holds true.
Yes. No, these are all attached.
In that little sediment area?
Yeah, those are too small.
Okay.
And you can see they're dominated by manganese crust, you know, if you really look at them. So that probably the one piece of rock that's inside them is heavily altered.
Mm-hmm.
Andrea, how would you describe the substrate?
So it looks like it's a sheet flow, right? And we're still seeing the morphology of when it cooled. So there hasn't been an event since its formation that looks like it has broken off and exposed what we would refer to as fresh rock, even though it would be still millions of years since that exposure. Those millions of years make a difference because alteration is going to happen first with the rocks that are most exposed to the flow of the ocean water.
Nav, could you zoom out and measure our track so far for the duration of the dive?
I have a sneaky suspicion that that's going to be what her question is about at the end of the dive, but...
Well, I think, you know, if we've found the extent of this sponge garden, then it'd be interesting to see how long it is. Maybe we'll see it come back in as we rise here, but...
And I think one of the hypotheses we've tested fairly thoroughly thus far in this region is the western side has been more populated than the eastern side?
So we've traveled about 300 meters since coming on shift. We came on shift right around here.
Right, I mean the total since the dive start, since we reached the seafloor to here.
Looks like we're coming into a little terrain here, so the uphill, if you look at the various sonars, is basically to the south now.
1.6 kilometers.
Okay, thanks.
That's a lot of community.
Yeah.
In the main media, usually size of things is associated to a Manhattan. It was as big as Manhattan. The iceberg was half the size of Manhattan. So I'm wondering in this community how many Manhattans 1.6 kilometers is.
I'm going to go with how many football fields here.
You're going to get football fields,
About
all right.
1,100 yards, more than 3 football fields.
3 football fields.
Yeah,
Sponge
it's a fraction of a Manhattan.
It's a fraction of a Manhattan?
Yeah.
Almost 4 football fields. Now how wide I'm not sure.
We're not sure how wide, but of a dense population for that many football fields.
Well, we want to continue on this trajectory or turn right and head up the hill a little bit?
Yeah, I was going to make our next move up the hill more, so it would be bearing 145.
145, roger.
Bridge, Nav.
Oh, there's an example
Can
of
we
a sponge that
please
looks like it tipped over because it was too big for the rock it grew on.
Bearing 145.
Yeah. He needed to get rock insurance.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, he needed a bigger, chunkier rock. So we're seeing some less dense communities here as we kind of move through this area between 2 slightly higher points.
These sponges are so regal.
So if in fact the sponges are decreasing, we may see an increase in other suspension feeders, other various types of corals as we reach these shallower depths.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Have we seen that the sponges are all kind of facing the same direction, or is there more variety here?
I think there's more variety. Every once in a while we get into a place where you can see they share the same orientation. When we were in the denser communities, you could see that there was an average or mean current flow. But it definitely isn't like what we saw in Coral Canyon, right? Where they were all completely aligned in the same direction. So this might be because there's more turbulence of the current in this area. I'm not sure, But it does make sense that a canyon will funnel the current, and you know that the organisms would share that orientation, as opposed to this, right, is more undulating and less even. And I don't see many channels like we saw in Coral Canyon.
How are these rocks looking?
Not broken up enough, I would say.
Not cubic enough.
Yeah, exactly. They see how they look kind of thin. But we'll get there. We'll find one.
So we're getting lots of questions still about, speculating on why some of these areas are more or less heavily populated. Here's a great question about depth ranges for these creatures. Do they have preference for shallower waters because of the pressure, or is it harder for them to live at higher pressures down that low, or is it more about the temperature, or is it more about something else?
I know that Steve did his dissertation actually on populations at different depths. And I don't know if they have the mechanism for control of those various populations at different depths, but there definitely are depths that certain species prefer. And I don't know, have you heard what the reason might be?
No.
But pressure is a good hypothesis.
You like any of these rocks at the bottom of the hill here?
I haven't seen any so far.
Oh, okay. Checking in.
Yeah.
Nice Argus shot.
Chris is pointing out in the science chat that oxygen concentration can be a limiting factor, which that varies with depth as well.
Oh, good point, good point.
That's why he's the biologist.
Right, exactly.
And temperature more likely than pressure from Scott France, at least for the corals.
Another scientist says temperature is more likely a controller of the population than pressure for corals.
Is that because, oh, for corals, I see.
You'll see pressure kick in below 3,000 or 4,000 meters.
As a limiting factor.
In terms of its effects on cell membranes and enzymes. Thank you, Scott.
Is that a small orange coral there? Just
yeah,
it
pink.
is.
Yeah.
Right by the lasers?
Yeah, right by the lasers.
Got a little coral right by your lasers.
Ooh, look at the view in Argus.
You got a coral by your lasers? The back row's talking about the coral by the lasers. Usually a zoom in.
Nah, you're doing all right.
All right.
We're just oohing and awing.
They're oohing and awing. I'm trying to translate what they're saying to you guys.
Yeah, they're in this canyon. Can we go up this little canyon and see if there's some good rocks in there?
Yeah, we're kind of following the crack there.
Yeah.
I see lots of rocks, but one rock looks the same to me.
Yeah, we might see some in here. See some angular cubic rocks in here. This guy.
Yeah, you want to try for some of those?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, stand by.
This guy, you think?
Those are kind of small. Up in here.
Oh yeah, there's some in here. So dependent on what's easiest for you to get to.
Bridge nav.
That was.
What about the one the lasers is on right
Can we
now?
come to an all stop, please?
It looks
about
pretty
20.
fairly manganese crusted. We were one of the ones that are more a little uphill, that were more angular. Let's see. Can you try for this one maybe, and see if it's angular and cubic enough?
Yeah, you're good there. If it hits, you'll see the vehicle move.
You like that one?
Um,
It's not as good as the ones that were upstream, but
take a look at it. Yeah.
yeah.
Pick it up. Look.
Just move slow and easy. We all stop, are we, Kate?
Yep.
Thank you.
Very interesting
That
view
looks
on Argus.
bigger. Yep.
Attached? Aw, sucker.
I see.
Okay.
I see half a dozen rocks in there. Poke around. Square ones. Square, not flat. Yeah, pick it up. See how it looks.
Maybe this guy is square, more cubic. Do you see him, Gabby?
Yeah. Attached. Oh no,
Oh.
That looks good.
it does look like a opportune rock. It's going in the starboard box, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yes, if we collect it, it'll go in starboard E.
Can we spin that guy?
Victory roll.
Yeah, are you giving him full beans?
Grip force 9 confirmed.
I think that'll be, yeah, we'll go for that. Thank you.
There's some really fragile sponge in starboard.
So we're not opening the box all the way.
We are
Nope.
not.
And I've disabled the starboard vert.
The
So
thrusters?
you'll have to tuck it in when you swing around there so you don't hit the wall.
Thank you.
Data, what sample number is this?
This is going to be number 84.
Look at us go.
I'm full wide.
You got it in bubble there. Use bubble. Just
Oh,
tuck it
there's
in
an
and swing
eel
around.
or a fish.
Oh
Look,
yeah, he came to visit.
our rock sampling.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
I can.
We're
I'm
just going to
watching
take
it.
this one.
Bubble.
It's a sign.
It's a good
Yeah.
sign. Maybe he's telling me he knows the age of that rock. He could tell me.
Let's view float up, Justin, and lateral to your left a little.
It's been passed down in oral tradition.
Yeah. You're never going to believe what I saw in the canyon
Yeah.
today.
Planner there again.
Really nice work on the Argus view too there, Dan.
Find a perch where you can just hover there. Find something to look at there, that'd be great. Yeah, hover on that coral. Auto depth's probably not going to work because you only have one vert. So you'll just have to push forward on that up stick.
I like that little bulbous sponge down there at the bottom.
Yeah,
He's cute.
Video layout there for Gabby. Are you ready?
This is going in starboard E. Yes, ma'am. The morph That is the big box most forward.
Low-hanging fruit, Gabby.
We've got a plethora of pilots in the front row today. We got our usual tectonic turtles and a new turtle. Maybe we'll get him to introduce himself later, but seems like they got their hands full up there with some training. Lots of people that have been on multiple missions, cross-trained for various roles and move seats around.
Yay, thank you.
Nicely done.
Right.
Just slam dunked that rock.
So I used a bubble and azimuth to figure out where you're, and just bring your forearm down so you can see it in the camera somewhere, so you're not in the bumper bar. Okay, Justin, you have all your thrusters back. Should be able to mosey along now.
I was going to keep the ship moving with just a 30-meter move. Same bearing, 145.
That was an interesting
That looks good.
feature that we were following. If you're happy, we'll just keep moseying up that feature.
Yep, sounds good.
I see some little white thingies up in there, maybe.
Yeah.
Fun to look
Okay.
at.
Yep.
Oh, and another return of a coral.
So our current pilot is Justin. He's our longtime data engineer on the vessel. He wears many hats around here. He helps us with launch and recovery, drives the crane, operates the winch, helps us out on deck.
And he obviously loves to drive the Herc.
This is actually his
Bridge
first
snap.
time in the chair.
Oh.
Long time listener, first time caller.
I'm not the only rookie in the room anymore.
30 meters.
Find it amazing
bearing
that he's been working on this
145.
boat this
Yeah.
many years and hasn't sat in that chair yet.
Thank you.
Does he have a headset on? I want to know how he likes it.
He has got a smile on his face, so I'm
Okay,
assuming all is
good.
good. And he hasn't got out of
Yay.
the chair yet, which is...
Yeah, the last time I saw him smile real big, he was pressing some ice cream in between two cookies.
Oh, he's not getting to hear any of this.
You're
Do you have a
I
headset?
don't think I can hear you.
You're doing great.
Okay.
Doing great.
He's also getting a lot of appreciation on the messages from our website for fixing those streaming problems. So
Yay.
yeah, that was a big hit with our viewers. Thanks for sticking with us through that those problems we were having.
Could we take a look at the sponges you see in the Argus view?
Yeah, it can do. They want to look at that sponges ahead there in Argus. Little group straight from the view. At the top of that rock there. Yeah, there's a lot of magic that goes on behind the scenes there, and without our data engineers, it takes I don't know, how many computers do we have to have running to put this system in the water?
Well, how many do you have in front of you? Did you say you had 32?
Yeah, but just to get the thing in the water, it's I would say at least a dozen machines all talking nicely on 3 different networks,
Beautiful.
and they don't always play nice. Then some of us like me have finger trouble and create more work.
So more on this depth limitation question. You know, while pressure affects the performance of some enzymes, the temperature could be a limiting factor. Scott Francis saying that as a grad student, he was able to bring up amphipods, keep them alive from a depth of 2,000 meters, as long as they kept them cold.
Oh.
It'd be fine in cold aquaria for months at sea level pressure.
Thank you.
So people often ask that question, can you bring up something from these depths? Well, some animals can make it, amphipods, but the temperature was the limiting factor there.
That looks like a good one.
Interesting. Which tells you how constant the temperature is in these settings, right?
Right, right. So pressure could be more important at great depths, but as you get up in the water column, maybe temperature becomes the dominant factor.
That's Steve in the background playing with the iris. Hard to get a good shot of the sponges with all the white.
So we're getting questions about the ages of these organisms, these sponges and corals. They are not plants, they're animals. And what do we know about the ages of these quite large sponges?
I think they can live between hundreds to maybe thousands of years. So they can be quite old, and we just don't know a lot about their age or even how fast they grow, I don't think.
Bridge nav.
All right, thanks. We can keep
Can we
trucking.
come all stop, please?
Oh.
Roger, moving on. Okay.
And I think the ages of the sponges is even less well understood than the ages of the corals, just due to difficulty of not just collecting the samples, but then what do you do to figure out how old it is? They don't have...
Right, they don't have a chemical analysis to radiometrically date them. So they're made of silica. So a dating means would require a radioactive nuclide to be uptaken into their skeleton. And I think at this point we don't yet have a means of dating the material that they're composed of.
All right, Nav, we can keep moving.
Oh, there's a big old polished rock.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just a shadow.
Yeah, it's the lighting, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, Nav, we can keep stepping.
Yeah, Roger. I've just paused the ship so we can get back around in front of Argus. We've kind of gone off to the south,
great,
southwest there.
Get positioned to climb. Yep.
We'll just let Argus swing in for a minute while we get back in. What are you doing, Kate? 135-ish?
145.
145.
Oh, I see. Yeah, Argus is lagging behind a bit. Yep.
Yeah. So our course over ground kind of thing is 145 when we're moving. So you'll probably have to abandon this crack and slide to your left. Yeah, as you're going up the hill.
These look like some angular rocks in here.
Oh, yeah, it is looking...
Do you want to stop it?
Can we get in there, or are we flying past it? And what is the Argus situation?
We're good.
Yeah, we're all stopped, so.
Yeah, the ship stopped. Argus is slowly swinging.
Okay.
Catch up.
What's that? Yeah.
there at the top.
Yeah, so optimally when you land, target is...
See if we can find one of these guys, a cubic guy in here. We could put him in the same box.
I'm gonna pop your auto altitude off there.
Might be flat. That's very light colored.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Look at a piece of a sponge.
That's
maybe.
a
Oh,
dead
it is.
sponge,
It is a sponge, yeah.
You like any of those, or you want to be forward a little more for... Oh yeah,
Lower
she's
right.
circling stuff there.
See that down there? I think the porch is on him now.
Yeah.
Want to back it up a little bit, and then he's under the porch. Can we, or is it too difficult?
No, it's easy. We should be able to get it. You can
He
see
could
it
be
there,
right
can you?
there, yep.
Yeah.
I think he's right underneath the hose.
The one right under the
Right.
suction sampler.
Suction,
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, you're good.
Can you show me that once more?
Sorry, say that again?
Right
Oh,
there.
right
You see him right
I
under the
see.
hose. Right under the slurp. You see it, Gabby?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
I think the porch is pushing him.
Getting a little nudge.
Testing if it's loose.
And Sarah, can we share the box with this guy?
Yes.
The last one we put in?
Yeah,
I think that was E, is that correct?
correct. Starboard E.
Okay.
So if there's any biology on here, inform that we want to gently replace the rock and select another one.
Okay.
No, I think we can take it, but just if we don't want it, just kind of be a little gentle.
Okay.
Yeah, we can still take it if it's one that you want.
I
Okay.
feel like I'm not in the light here.
All right, let's take this one.
Okay.
And I'm going to pan back up a bit, or tilt back up a bit. I'll give you your craft bubble cam there. So I think you got room to come around there, Gabby.
I think so too.
And then I'm going to disable the starboard
good one.
vert again.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us, we're continuing this dive on Don Quixote Seamount in Papahanaumokuakea Marine Monument here west of Hawaii.
I'll come down on Argus a bit.
This dive has been on since 4 a.m. local time. It's expected to go at least another couple of shifts here, another maybe 6 or 7 hours.
So is this one's going in E as well?
Yes.
Awesome.
Are you ready?
I am so ready.
Sample tray. Extending.
Part way, part way.
Roger on the part way.
What's on your mind?
You got questions? Let us know. You can enter them in the box on our website, nautiluslive.org.
Roger that.
Where do we have folks tuned in from, Kim?
Oh, we have folks joined in from the U.S., the U.K., Canada. We've got Brazil, Italy, Hungary, Ireland, Germany. Did I say Brazil yet?
Yes.
Outstanding.
Yeah, folks from all over.
Awesome.
Did that brittle star go in with it?
Yes, I think there was
I
a
believe
brittle
it did,
star
yeah.
attached.
Fish
Yeah,
now.
so find your thruster here. So all your thrusters are back on. You have full control.
Can we move 50 meters, bearing 145?
I think we want to, they want to go look at those sponges right ahead of Herc and Argus up there.
Well, we could keep stepping along. It was just interesting to see them earlier.
Okay.
We got a good look.
So we can,
Yeah, keep moving along that
Roger.
crevice.
Yeah, they don't need to see this.
Meredith is also interested in a water sample.
If the community continues to decrease, yeah, we'll
Okay.
get a background EDNA.
Oh,
water sample.
we have one Niskin left, and we were going to, if we could, reserve that for the 10 to 15 meters off the seafloor background.
There
Meredith.
might. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I see
Meredith, feel
two
free
that
to
are
tune in on that.
unfired and one that might be a misfire that might not work.
Correct. Two had a
Okay.
misfire. It does not work.
Okay. Roger.
I think you just have to pull harder on the string.
Just tighten it till it's loose.
Yeah, if it breaks, you pull too hard.
That's how you know.
Yeah.
Wow, we're rocking and rolling a little bit here.
Yeah, moving and grooving.
So Dan, I'm having a bit of trouble with the this joint being like loose.
Yeah, it should. You like it up like this?
I don't care as long as it doesn't
Let
flop.
go for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, since this one's been rebuilt, it's
Because I like to hold it just by that piece, and
Yeah,
then it'll bend.
I've had the same issue and I haven't been able to tighten it, so it is what it is.
Okay, sure.
We've got Norway and the Netherlands checking in with us as well now, and someone who is insisting that Florida is its own country. So welcome, welcome viewers from all over the place. We're thrilled to have you with us, whether you're joining on our website, nautiluslive.org, or on our YouTube channel, or some other platform.
And we will save that Niskin for